Hello and welcome to the first lecture of the new section of how to implement Agile HR in this course, Agile HR. So in this section, we will give you a lot of details about actually how can you go about implementing Agile HR, right from nuts and bolts to high level stuff or from high level stuff to nuts and bolts. So in this lecture, let's take a quick look at all the steps that is you need to take. You need to then understand them as we go forward in this section in each of these lectures. So let's take a look at overview. So implementing Agile HR in an organization basically requires a strategic step-by-step approach in which you start with strategic assessment, you have a vision that is value-based, then you formulate strategic goals, strategies, and plans. Now, in this whole process of implementing and this strategic plan model, you need to align HR processes like talent acquisition, performance management, talent development, and retention, and anything else that is critical for your organization with the agile principles like adaptability, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Now, how can you do that? Let's take a look at the steps that you need to take as an overview in the next slide. And then in the remaining part of this section, we will talk about each of these steps. So, how to implement Agile HR? Any thoughts? So there are many steps that you need to take, and that's why it is called a journey. It's a long list of things that you need to do. And the first one that you need to start as an organization, I'm not only talking of HR. So first you need to understand the Agile HR principles. That's the first step. So you as HR, as well as the rest of the team in HR should need to understand the Agile HR principles. Then you need to gain leadership buy-in because without leadership buy-in, the project won't move at all. So you leadership must be convinced and how Agile HR is going to help the whole organization. And we will talk about each of these steps in one lecture or more lectures as we go forward in the remaining section. Then you need to train and upskill the HR team because they have the ownership of driving this Agile HR. So they need to get trained and also improve their skills that are necessary for implementing Agile HR. Then you start with a pilot project. You can't start all over. That's a part of philosophy of Agile in any case, right? So you take a pilot project. You define a pilot project. And how do you do that? We will talk about it later. Then you implement cross-functional agile teams as we talk, cross-functional squads that we have been talking about adopted by many companies successfully. So you make those cross-functional agile squads. And then you start making changes in the HR processes, starting with performance management, where you shift to continuous feedback. Then you make your recruitment and onboarding agile. Then you make your learning flexible. Then you start making data-driven decisions, right? And then you focus on improving employee experience for the whole of the organization, set performance reviews and composition on an agile basis, and then look at how to manage change and communication. And towards the end, scale agile HR across the organization. So through this pilot process, once you made changes and refine and define and refine these processes, and you scale the agile HR across the organization. And towards the end, you empower HR teams to be the innovators, so you continuously keep innovating and you continue to measure success and adapt as the time progresses. So that's a long journey of implementing HR. Isn't it long? Yes, it is long. It does take patience and time to really make transformation, sometimes couple of years. So what do we do next? So we look at the first step of this long journey of implementing Agile HR, of understanding Agile HR principles in the next lecture. How does one do that? Is the focus of next lecture's discussion. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on how to implement Agile HR. Hope you're beginning to learn again new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that is of specific interest to you.